Good morning or good afternoon or good whenever. Start by getting logged into Clever. All right, so your kind of fun little question to get going. You got shipwrecked on an island. What three items would you want to land on shore with you? So, welcome to live lesson 20. Thanks, guys, for always being here and participating. We are going to continue to practice and review our proton, electron, neutron calculations, as well as how to build a Bohr model. So some reminders. First of all, make sure you're always checking assignments. I will be honest, there is a pretty good amount of grading that I need to get caught up on. So in the next couple days, pay attention to assignments being returned, grades, comments, those kinds of things. And if you're also, by the way, going back and doing like work from more than 2 weeks ago, it might be helpful to make a comment on that to make sure I see it, because sometimes I don't see those, and then I miss going back and getting your makeup work graded. There were a whole bunch of people that had some issues with Edpuzzle. I think I know what the problem was, and it was bigger than us. It wasn't just our class. So I'm trying something new today that will hopefully help and make this work a little bit better. If you need access to the lesson or the recorded lesson, I posted the video in our stream as just the YouTube video, which you should be able to view. It won't allow you to obviously answer the questions like the Edpuzzle, but at least it's something. I'm not going to penalize you for not having these because obviously that's kind of outside of your control, and I'm sorry that we are having all these issues. Let's make sure that we're using our resources, that we're giving our best effort, that we are meeting our expectations, and that we are here and ready to get to work. So this week, again, we're talking about how to visualize the atom, and we are originally today going to move on to a new topic. But I kind of, upon reflection, was like, man, let's go back and let's spend a little bit more time practicing proton, electron, neutron calculations as well as our Bohr models, okay? I went and I looked at some of your all's number 43 assignments, and most of them were not done correctly. So I wanted to spend a second to hit home exactly how to do the Bohr model and then how you should be doing it in that assignment. So start, you're going to want to have a periodic table open. That is a common thing that we're going to need during this unit because this is about periodicity, which is pretty much about the periodic table. So make sure that's open. Okay, let's review and remind ourselves. Using the periodic table, find this element number, atomic number 35. Once you've found that element, tell me what it is. Yes, it is bromine. Now, I need you to go through and tell me the mass, the rounded mass, the protons, electrons, and neutrons. Awesome. So bromine, atomic number 35. That means its mass is 79.9, so it rounds up to 80. The rounded mass is 80. The protons are 35, the electrons are 35, and the neutrons are 80 minus 35, which is 45. So, good stuff. All right, let's jump into the lesson. We're going to review pretty much everything we've been talking about the past 2 weeks. So we start with reviewing the atom. The atom has three parts. There are three subatomic particles, so three parts that make it up: proton, neutron, and our electron. Okay, our proton is important because it differentiates what element it is. They're also important because they have a positive charge, so they give a positive charge to the atom, and they're in the nucleus, and they add to the mass. The neutrons are also found in the nucleus. They also add to the mass, but they do not have a charge, okay? That's why you see that zero there. They don't have a charge. Protons positive, neutrons zero charge. Our electrons are important because they have a charge, and they're also then in these outer shells, and that's super important in what we're talking about with the Bohr model. The electrons don't have any mass. They're teeny, teeny, tiny, and again, outside in these shells. So the next thing we talked about was how do we use the periodic table to calculate the protons, electrons, and neutrons. So we remembered that the periodic table gives us this information. The atomic number is up in the top that tells us the atomic number and the protons. The electrons are always the same as the protons for now. So the protons, electrons are the same. And then to get the neutrons, you have to take that mass, round it either up if it is 0.5 or staying where it is if it is 0.4 or below. and subtracting the protons from that rounded mass to give you the neutrons. So here's an example. Argon, the atomic number is 18. The mass is 39.948, 0.5 and above, you round up to the next number, so it's 40. The protons are the atomic number, so that's 18. The electrons are the protons, so that's also 18. The neutrons, you are taking then that rounded mass, 14, minus the protons, minus 18, so that is 22. All right, let's try this on our own. Can you do this example? All right, so let's check our work. All right, so phosphorus has an atomic number of 15. The atomic mass is 30.974, so you're going to round that up to 31. The protons is 15 because that's the atomic number. The electrons are 15 because that's the protons. And the neutrons are this rounded mass, 31 minus 15. Good work. Okay. So how are we feeling about this? Okay, so if you're not feeling great, you need to get some more practice calculating these. And the good news is that's a part of this next piece of that we're doing. And if you need to go back and watch old previous lessons, maybe that would help too. Okay, so the Bohr model is just a way to take the information that we calculated for the protons, electrons, and neutrons and visualize it into an actual model, into an actual atom. So some key ideas about the Bohr model is that the electrons are in these energy levels. Each energy level can hold a specific maximum number of electrons, and you have to fill each energy level before you move on to the next one. So the first energy level can hold 2, the second can hold 8, the third can hold 8, and the fourth is kind of weird, but we're going to say for our purposes it can hold 8 too. All right, and as I said, the electrons have to fill the orbit or the shell closest to the nucleus first, and you're adding electrons until you have enough electrons that as you're supposed to have from what you calculated, okay? So again, it's just a way to visualize your PEN. So the protons and the electrons, protons and neutrons, excuse me, are in your nucleus, and I'm just going to have you write those down. You don't need to draw those out. But then you are going to draw your electrons out. You can have up to 2 in the first shell, up to 8 in the second, up to 8 in the third, up to 8 in the fourth. You're starting on the inside ones before adding to the outside ones until you have met the number of electrons your atom needs to have. So let's do that argon example again, where we had our atomic number, our mass, protons, electrons, and neutrons. We calculated this earlier. We all remember that. So our electrons and our protons are 18 because our atomic number is 18. Our neutrons are the rounded mass 40 minus the protons, minus 18, so 22. So start by putting your protons and your neutrons in the nucleus. Literally just write those numbers down. You don't have to draw anything out. Now we have 18 electrons to place. It's kind of a lot, but we can do it. We can have up to 2 in our first shell, and we have more than 2 electrons, so we're going to put both of them in there. We've done 2 of our 18. We have 16 more to place. So our next shell can hold up to 8, and a 2 plus 8 is 10. That's not 18, so we can put them all in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are now up to 10 electrons. We need to get to 18, so we're not done yet. The third shell can also hold up to 8. And if I pay attention, 2 plus 8 is 10, and I need to get to 18. I need 8 more electrons. So that's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If I count these bad boys up, I have 18 electrons, and that's what this argon needs. Good job. All right, so let's try and walk ourselves through this. Obviously, in this Edpuzzle, you guys are not able to draw it out, but we can. You can answer these questions to tell me what you would draw there. All right, so here's what your phosphorus should look like. You should have 15 protons and 16 neutrons, excuse me, in the nucleus because our mass minus our protons, 31 minus 15 is 16. So you have 15 electrons then to place. It would have 2 in the first shell, we need to get, we have to get to 15, so we could put 8 in the second shell. That's up to 10. And then in the third shell, we put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. All right, so before I talk you through exactly how to do the assignment or assignments, what questions do you have? What are you getting stuck? What don't you understand? Where do you need some more help from me? Questions are good. They're not a sign of weakness or being dumb. They mean that you're trying to improve and that you want to learn. So what questions do you have? All right, so make sure you check the comments because any of those questions you left, I will comment and leave you a response. So the assignment number 43 that was assigned to you earlier of the Bohr model practice, we're going to go over it again because most of us didn't do that assignment right the first time. And then the other reason is because you've essentially been assigned the exact same thing, but with different elements for your work today. So what you're going to do is you're going to use our periodic table to do exactly what we just did together. Calculate the protons, electrons, and neutrons, and then build your atom. Okay? If you would prefer, I'm okay with you hand drawing or using the Build an Atom Colorado PhET, and I'll show you how to do that. So what it looks like, you're going to calculate your protons, electrons, and neutrons using the periodic table information. And then you're going to literally put your atoms, or put your protons and your neutrons in the nucleus, and your electrons by Control-C and Control-V, copy and then paste, or right-click, copy, right-click, paste your electrons into these specific spots. Okay, now before I show you, here's some things that I noticed. You have to make the Bohr model. The number of people that just turned in number 43 with just doing the proton, electron, neutron calculation, nope, I'm going to return it because the Bohr model is important. Okay, you can just go and take a screenshot of building that atom in the Bohr Build an Atom Colorado PhET. Totally fine. Okay, what you can't do is just go on the internet and Google a picture of that atom because it's obvious. I know that's what you did. Okay, you can just draw them out if you would prefer to draw these out on your own piece of paper. Okay, but making the Bohr model is an important piece of this. So let me go show you how to do it. If we go over to this, over here, we have neon. Neon, we are going to build this atom. All right, so if we go to the periodic table and we click on neon, we get this information. Now, something that you guys should, if you've never learned how to do this, you want to find, you might have access to what is called a snipping tool. I love it because it allows you to take pictures of stuff you see and then it makes it an image. Okay, so I just took that copy and I'm going to go take it over here, paste, so that I have it and I don't have to be going back and forth. Okay, so the atomic number is 7. The atomic mass is 14. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. It's not nitrogen, it's neon. My bad. All right, we'll try that again. Go and put that, copy it, move it over. My bad, y'all. Brush that off, Holly. Okay, trying it again. Neon, 10, mass, 20. It rounds, stays the same because it's 0.4 below. Protons are 10, electrons are 10, and neutrons are 20 minus 10, which are also 10. All right, so then what you're going to do is you want to go over here into the nucleus and put your protons, oops, click something wrong, your protons and your neutrons. All right, and if it gets funky like that, you can just make the box bigger. All right, now the important piece is placing your electrons. So what I've done over here is made an electron that all you got to do is you can click on it and you can do Control-C and then Control-V to copy it. If you don't know how that works, you can also right-click, copy, right-click, paste. All right, so I have 10 total electrons. I'm going to copy and paste this electron until I have made and filled my shells. So I have 10 total. I can put 2 in the first shell. Okay, I cannot put more than that, but I need to put 2 before I add on to the next shell. So if I put 2 in the first shell, I need 8 more. And the good news is I can put 8 in my second shell. So if I am copying and pasting away, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so I put 8 in that second shell. That's the most I can put in there. I put 2 in the first shell. 2 plus 8 is 10. Good job. Now, if you prefer another option for building this, if you don't really like the copying and pasting and that's too much, we can go over here and do it in the Build an Atom Colorado FET. So I have my neon. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's my protons, 10 protons. Now I put my 10 neutrons. All right. And then I'm going to put my 10 electrons. 1, 2. You notice how they automatically take it to that first shell first and fill it out. Now I can't put this one in there. It will automatically bring it out there. But 1, 2. I can put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that second shell. That is a neon atom. So if you don't like using the um, slides and copying and pasting, you can build it there, copy, go bring it back over here. And just put it right there. Take a screen grab, add it, and that works too. Okay? So I hope that you're feeling good about this because, again, the only other assignment that you've been added to for this week is literally just this was the very first one where we had fluorine, calcium, sulfur, and helium. You now have the same setup as that, except for with neon, sodium, silicon, and beryllium. So just getting more practice, calculating your proton, electrons, and neutrons, and building your Bohr model. Okay, so you're looking for that new assignment down there. So there's 4 total assignments this week. So you kind of got a good break. All right, let's finish here. What is wrong with this Bohr model? Awesome. So you should have noticed that we did not fill the inner shells first before moving to the outside shells. So what this atom should look like is 2 in the first, 8 in the second, and then it would be 3 in the third shell. Okay? We have to fill those inner shells first before you fill the outer ones. All right, so have a great weekend, guys. I will see you next week. Next week's schedule is going to be a little adjusted because of not having school on Tuesday. So make sure that you watch the preview video on Monday because I'm going to lay out what you need to be doing. I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day.